Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians.
Senate pledges upward review of defense budget and charges Housing Ministry to tackle housing deficit in the country. Compliments of the season and a warm welcome to another edition of Inside the Senate, a program that brings to your screen activities of lawmakers from the Red Wing of the National Assembly. I am Aisha Muhammad Ahmed, your anchor on the program. On Tuesday, 12th December 2023, the Senate resumed plenary after adjourning on Friday, 1st December 2023, to give committees time to work on the details of the 2024 Appropriation Bill. Details from plenary proceedings for that day and other activities from various committee rooms as regard the 2024 budget defense make up our program today. Please stay tuned.
Promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2023.
And this act should be supported by all.
There are issues that we must use this opportunity to critically address.
We accord this motion the urgency and the necessity it requires.
I rise the second motion.
The ayes have it.
Welcome back. During the resumed plenary on Tuesday, 12th December 2023, Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin raised a point of order on the personal explanation to report to the Senate on the visit of a delegation of senators led by him to Tudunbiri community of Igabi local government area in Kaduna State. According to Senator Barrow Jibrin, the visit was on the instruction of the Senate President to condole the government and the people of Kaduna State over an accidental drone strike by the Nigerian army that killed and injured members of Tudunbiri community.
We're able to visit the governor in order to relay that message. We're able to visit him at the government house, Kaduna. Thereafter, we went to the hospital where those that got injured were treated. And went to all of them and conveyed the message of the Senate to them.
Senator Barrow Jibrin also stated that the delegation, as agreed, pledged the December salaries of senators to victims of the unfortunate incident in order to alleviate their suffering, a gesture, he added, that pleased the governor of the state. Senate President Godswill Akpabio commented on the matter.
The Nigerian army has already accepted that it was a mistake, and that occurred through their drone management. And as good Muslims and Christians, we always say that unto God we shall return. God gives and God takes. We will continue to show commiseration. We'll continue to mourn. We'll continue to support the victims, and particularly the communities.
In the end, a minute's silence was observed in honor of those who lost their lives during the unfortunate incidents.
Rest in perfect peace.
Moving on to bills, only one bill was taken for first reading. It was a bill titled Medical Physics Regulatory Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Isha Ashiru Oyelola. Another matter considered on the floor of the Senate was a report of the Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs on the confirmation of the nomination of Ambassador Akao Desmond for appointment as a member of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. It was presented by the committee chairman, Senator Abdullahi Yahaya Abubakar.
From the documents made available to the committee, the nominee satisfied the requirements for appointment into the office. He is well experienced, adequately exposed at top levels of both government and private sector administration, and we have affirmed that he had the capacity to function as Commissioner in the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, especially having served the nation as a Minister of the Federal Republic. There are also no petitions against him, and the three distinguished senators from the River State are in full support of his nomination.
Some lawmakers spoke in support of the nominee.
Even when he was in the People's Democratic Party, I can tell you boldly that he has the mind and the might to support the renewed hope of this country. He is from my senatorial district. He served as the party chairman of the People's Democratic Party for 8 years, and I can attest to the fact that he can do the job and is capable of serving the president and serving the country at large.
Even though of recent, the nominee has left our political party to the other one, that does not take anything away from the fact that Ambassador Desmond Akao is eminently qualified.
On that note, the Senate reserved into the Committee of the Whole to consider the nomination, after which it was approved by the Senate. With that, plenary was adjourned to Wednesday, 20th December 2023. This is to give more time for the conclusion of the budget defense by MDAs. Let's now take a break to open the Senate notebook. Please stay tuned.
Budget defense exercise is a legislative process whereby heads of ministries, departments, and agencies appear before legislative committees to justify annual allocations made to their establishments. It entails convincing lawmakers that the funds appropriated will be judiciously utilized. Where corruption, inefficiency, and waste in the administration and utilization of appropriated funds are discovered, Section 88, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended empowers the National Assembly to expose such.
Thanks for staying tuned. In preparation for passing the 2024 Appropriation Bill, the National Assembly, through its various committees, has been up and doing in hosting MDAs in their budget defense. Details of interaction from committee rooms where heads of MDAs have addressed joint Senate and House committees to resolve budgetary issues are brought to you in our next reports. Keep watching.
The budget performance of 2023.
Last week, the Ministry of Defense defended its 2024 budget appropriation before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Defense. In his opening remark, Chairman Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Ahmad Lawan, stated that the Ministry of Defense is one of the ministries that seriously needs adequate resources.
Everything else is supposed to hang on skewed citizens, skewed nation, skewed environment for any other thing to flourish. Call it anything, education, economy, health, anything.
Also giving his remarks, Chairman House Committee on Defense, Honorable Babajimi Benson, commended the Nigerian Armed Forces for successes they have recorded in recent times.
Despite the challenges, including the recent unfortunate bombing at Tudunbiri in Kaduna State, we are delighted with the successes recorded so far, especially in the last 12 months. We acknowledge these robust achievements are proof of the level of professionalism often displayed by our military in the discharge of their duties.
No doubt.
Minister of Defense Muhammad Badar Abubakar, in his presentation, started with an overview of the 2023 budget, where he stated that his ministry was appropriated 62,694,833,589 naira only in the 2023 budget.
For the personnel, there is 100% release and 100% utilization. And on the overhead, we have a release of 95% and a utilization of 92%. So which is also good. On the capital, we have a release of 94% and utilization of 74%, which is also a very, very good achievement. And we intend, before the year runs out, to reach a utilization of 94% of the capital being projected. So
The minister also reported on the 2023 supplementary budget for the ministry.
For the main units and parastatals of the ministry, you have passed about 577 billion, but relative to the ministry, it's about 10 billion. There has not been released yet. We are expecting to release, and I believe all procurement process are in process, so that the moment the money is released, we procure all the equipments. The aim is to have simultaneous operations.
On the 2024 budget appropriation for the ministry, the minister reported that the Defense Ministry has been allocated a budget of 78,581,164,993 naira only. Responding, the chairman Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Ahmad Lawan, expressed his disappointment that the entire budget of the ministry does not seem to be under the minister's purview as it is supposed to be.
You are the Minister of Defense, not Minister of the Headquarters or the Minister of Defense. And on a press of button, it's my submission, it's my personal opinion. You are supposed to see the budgets of the Ministry of Defense, including everyone, not the Ministry Headquarters. So this, to me, is maybe a message to the executive. I think there's an anomaly here. You are supposed to solicit, in fact, work for the entire Ministry of Defense ecosystem, for everyone, all the services, all the other agencies. They're supposed to be under your purview.
The committee, however, pledged to improve the allocation and ensure necessary materials for the Defense Ministry and its agencies. Earlier, a minute's silence was observed in honor of those who recently lost their lives in Tudumbiri community of Igabi local government area of Kaduna State after an accidental strike by a Nigerian army drone.
The gentle souls of our late compatriots rest in perfect peace. Amen. Thank you.
On Tuesday, the 12th of December 2024, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was also hosted by the National Assembly Joint Committee on Foreign Affairs, led by Senator Abubakar Bello and Honorable Abdul Mumni Jibrin, respective chairmen of the committee in the red and green chambers. While reporting, Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Yusuf Tuga stated that 99.45% of the 2023 budget of the ministry has so far been utilized.
Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators and honorable members, the implementation of 2023 budget has been measurably fair, particularly on release of funds. For instance, releases of personnel costs have been up to date for headquarters and missions, though shortfalls were witnessed about the middle of the year due to foreign exchange harmonization. While 8 months overhead and 45% capital allocations have been released to headquarters, missions have suffered disproportionately due to the fact that their overheads for second and third quarters are yet to be released till date.
In conclusion, Tuga called for adequate allocation and speedy consideration of the budget in order to mitigate the upward review of the headquarters and missions' initial ceiling on overhead allocation. Lawmakers also made contributions.
While we will look in to address whatever challenges that are there, it is imperative to state very clearly that it will be practically impossible to achieve the ambitious foreign policy of Mr. President with the amount of money that has been budgeted.
It's one thing to come out with a slogan. It's even a different thing to set an agenda. You've got to be enabled to be able to achieve for our country. And that's what I think we're all here to do.
In another committee room, Senate Committee on SDGs, led by Senator Danjuma Goje, hosted the Special Advisor to the President on SDGs, Adegoke Orelokpe Adefulire, and her team, who were present at the National Assembly for their 2024 budget defense. She gave a summary of their 2023 budget performance.
Our overhead cost was listed as number 1. The main budget was SDG 1, 46.5, and followed by SDG 2, which is 10 billion naira. Capital in recurrent, which is item number 3, are members' jobs, both Senate and House of Representative jobs that were domiciled in our office. We call it capital on recurrent. 16.3 billion is not, it's members that domiciled with our domiciled project in our office. Then we have solar intervention for members also that was domiciled in our office. Total of 73 billion, and the only releases that we have was between February and March this year, and was 34 billion only.
She also highlighted some successes achieved by the SDGs office.
We have presented 2 reviews to the United Nations ECOSOC high-level political forums. We have hosted the European Union. We have also done and completed. We are the first country to have completed our independent evaluation report, which has been a benchmark for the United Nations now. It was adopted by the United Nations for other member states. Nigeria is also the first among the member states to finish the report on integrated national financing framework, and was launched by the last president, President Muhammadu Buhari, at the margins of the 77th General Assembly held last year in New York.
At the end of the presentation, the chairman of the committee expressed satisfaction with the report.
Committee, I want to especially commend you for a very good presentation, and I'm also happy to hear very good comments about you from my colleagues. You know, we are critics. We're supposed to do oversight. With these comments, I think, unless there's any other thing to say, I would like to close this session for now. If we have further information that we want to get from you, we'll contact you anytime from now.
You're still watching Inside the Senate. Still on budget defense, on Thursday, 14th December 2023, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Lengiwa, and his team were hosted by the National Assembly Joint Committee on Housing and Urban Development, Housing and Habitat, and Urban Development and Regional Planning, chaired by Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, Honorable Aminu Balele, and Honorable Awaji Inombeg Dagomi, respectively. Architect Lengiwa highlighted the budget performance of the ministry for the year 2023.
69.9 billion was appropriated to the ministry by the year 2023, which even at that year 2023, I must confess that it was inadequate compared to 162.2 billion that was appropriated to the ministry, to the section of the ministry, housing sector of the ministry in 2022. The 2023 budget performance amount released was utilized to pay all the outstanding certificate of payments owed to contractors of various projects, such as the National Housing Program, construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of federal secretariats, and general improvement of infrastructure across the country.
For the ministry's 2024 budget, Architect Ahmed Lengiwa noted that it was prepared, taking into cognizance the federal government policy thrust as articulated under the revised medium-term expenditure framework 2024 to 2026 and the fiscal strategy paper.
The sum of 94,128,800,866 was proposed as 2024 capital budget allocation of the ministry as compared to 167.2 billion in 2022 capital budget appropriation approved to the ministry. Now still now, but as we are now a full-fledged ministry. Your Excellency, the details of the appropriation of the proposals are under the table under 6.10.
Senator Victor Omer, a member of the committee, pledged the support of the committee to help the ministry achieve its goals.
Already your projection is 150 billion in the projects you want to do. If we don't take care, the whole money you have will be sunk in trying to recover projects that are already ongoing, to deliver them. You have 6,347 housing units spread across the 35 states of the Federation, and only 3,017 have been completed, and we have 3,330 still ongoing. All these are charges on the budget of 2024 for you to deliver them. So I sincerely think that today is to receive this budget, and we welcome this budget with open hands to partner with you to see how you can deliver your targets.
With no further questions or comments, the minister was permitted to take his leave. Next on our program is the profile segment. Sit back as we introduce to you our Senator of the Week.
Senator Henry Serake Dixon represents Bayelsa West Senatorial District in the 10th Senate. He was born on 28th of January 1966 in Toru Orua town of Shagbama local government area of Bayelsa State, Nigeria. Senator Dixon attended Kolobiriowe Primary School, Torora, from 1972 to 1978, where he got his first school leaving certificate and proceeded to Government Secondary School, Toruebeni, in 1978 to 1983, and obtained his West African School certificate. In 1988, Senator Dixon gained admission into Rivers State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, to read law, from where he graduated with LLB honors in 1992. He then proceeded in 1993 to the Nigeria Law School, Lagos, whereupon he was called to the Nigerian bar the same year. Senator Dixon joined the Nigerian Police Force in 1986 in service to his fatherland, and upon his graduation in 1993 was appointed a Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Police. In 1994, he proceeded to the Nigerian Police Academy, Kano, for officer training. During the course of his training, he voluntarily withdrew his service after close to a decade as a police officer to practice the profession of law. His voluntary withdrawal was duly approved by both the Inspector General of Police as well as the Commissioner of Police, Rivers State Command at the time. As a lawyer, he worked with Serena David Dokubo & Co., holding the position of Associate Solicitor from 1994 to 1995. He later moved to Aluko and Oyebode, a prominent law firm in Lagos, also as an Associate Solicitor in 1995 to 1996, after which he founded the law firm Serake Dixon & Co. in Port Harcourt and later Yanagwa, and became its Managing Solicitor from 1996 to 2006. Politically and professionally, Honorable Serake Dixon has held many positions, some of which include Pioneer Public Secretary, NBA Yanagwa, 1996 to 1998, State Chairman Alliance for Democracy AD, 1990 to 2000, National Legal Advisor Alliance for Democracy AD 2000 to 2002, National Legal Advisor Ijaw National Congress INC 2001 to 2003, Member National Executive Committee of NBA 2004 to 2006, Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Bayelsa State 2006 to 2007, Member House of Representatives 2007 to 2011, and Governor of Bayelsa State 2012 to 2020. In 2023, Senator Serake Dixon won the senatorial election to represent Bayelsa West in the 10th Senate, where he chairs the Senate Committee on Ecology and Climate Change. His legislative agenda include good governance, justice sector reforms, equity, among others.
On that note, We conclude tonight's episode of Inside the Senate for this week. Until we meet again, please share your questions and opinions through any of our feedback channels. Compliments of the season, and see you next week.